Join me, Frasier. I'll make your dreams come true.
But at what cost?
Welcome, friends. We have some more breaking Frasier news coming to us from Variety for the upcoming second season of the revival. This is coming from Michael Schneider, so this is his cut. Frasier is adding Harriet Sansom Harris, who will be reprising her role, as well as Rachel Bloom as a new character to the season 2 guest cast. Now, if you don't recall, we'll come down here and find out that Samson was originally the character of Bebe Glazer all the way back in that original run of Frasier. She was the agent of demonic proportions that was kind of always chasing after Frasier, and inevitably Frasier kind of was seduced by her dark side even when he didn't want to. A great character, if you can recall, all the way back to when I started talking about the original first season of this new revival series, when it was announced that, certain characters weren't coming back. I believe at that point the only one who was confirmed to be returning was Lilith. I thought that Bebe here was probably the single most likely and the most unobtrusive character to return to the show outside of, obviously Niles and Daphne, who were confirmed not to be returning, because she just made the most sense. She's the agent of Frasier. She could pop in even if he's not currently using her to do TV or radio or anything like that anymore. Obviously, she would probably want to try to lure him back to the dark side and bring him along for some new giant money-making venture that she could kind of siphon off of as well. In my opinion, probably the biggest opportunity to bring someone back outside of, I would have to say, probably Bulldog, as far as coming to Boston to cover some sort of sporting event. That would obviously make sense. And as was already previously announced, he will be returning in this season as well. More on that in a little bit, because I have a lot of thoughts going on here. But we also get confirmation here of a second character, Rachel Bloom, who was going to be playing Bebe's daughter, Phoebe Glazer. Now, according to this article here, they are described as First Bebe, delightfully devilish Bebe Glazer, one of the show's most iconic characters. She's known for her dramatic flair and outrageous Machiavellian maneuvers. Bebe will stop at nothing to get what she wants. As for Phoebe, having inherited her mother's indomitable charm, Phoebe boasts a magnetic personality as well as a taste for the finer things. That could be interesting. I especially would love to see the dynamic of Bebe in this newer iteration of Frasier, who has been more of a success, probably built on the back of what she has done for him, and maybe he has left her and she's feeling a little salty. I'm not certain, but anyway, it's really performed. It's probably going to be one of the standout episodes of the season, I have to imagine. Now, we come down here, this is just kind of giving some background. I'm wondering if they're going to give us information about some of the other ones. Okay, yes. So Harris joins Dan Butler, Edward Hibbert, Perry Gilpin as original returning Frasier alums who are going to appear in this season, at least in one episode. Some of them, I believe, were announced as recurring. At least that was Roz, I think. I don't know if Bulldog and Gil are going to be recurring. That's a lot of returning characters who weren't necessarily the heart and soul of the show, but they were definitely kind of key components to that original run of Frasier to just add some spice to it. We also have more new characters. Is this going to mention them as well? Let's find out. Bloom, yes, we're getting Amy Sedaris, who is going to be Dr. Stathos, and we're also going to be getting, Patricia Heaton. I forgot Patricia Heaton was coming. Yvette Nicole Brown, who is going to appear as Monica Olivia's sister. That's not even to mention the daughter of Roz, who is going to be played by what's her name? I can't remember her name right now. Actually, the real life daughter of Frasier himself, Kelsey Grammer. A lot of new and returning characters. I had forgotten Patricia Heaton, so how many new characters and how many new storylines is this going to introduce for the show? I definitely am excited for some of these returning characters, but something that kind of concerns me a little bit, or maybe even a moderate amount, is how is this going to impact a lot of the, I don't know if you can even call them legacy characters from season 1, but the newly established characters in season 1. Alan was the breakout. I can't imagine this is going to impact his appearances. And then Freddie is definitely kind of the axis around which the show revolves, the relationship between Frasier and Freddy, I cannot imagine those two characters are going to suffer too much. You have David, who took the longest to really come into his own. You have a lot of the Firehouse characters who are already fairly ancillary to the storylines. I have to imagine they're probably going to be shunted to the side. And even you have a couple other characters kind of in the mid-range there. What is going to happen when you start cluttering in returning characters, new characters related to those returning characters, and the brand new characters from season 1 who have barely had a chance to really establish themselves? And I'm worried a lot of those newer characters are kind of going to be pushed off to the side in favor of the grand return of characters that older audiences will definitely have more of a fondness for. I definitely can't... Oh, Greer. Yeah, Greer is playing Alice. I should have just come down another line and it would have told me. Anyways, while I am definitely excited for all of these new faces, it feels more like a, I don't know if I want to say a desperate move or a desperate maneuver. The fact that they are announcing all of these characters way ahead of time instead of kind of dropping them in. I guess it could just be that they know they're not going to be able to hide the news and it's going to leak, so why not get it out on their own terms? But it feels like it would be more beneficial for some of these characters to just pop up organically within the show without us knowing ahead of time. It feels almost a bit desperate that they're throwing all of these announcements out ahead of the show in order to kind of build excitement and build the fan base and get people back watching the show who didn't necessarily tune in for the first season or who maybe fell off on the first season because it wasn't what they expected of the original Frasier. And I always come back to the feeling I got from that Kevin James show, I can't even remember what it's called, where they got rid of the original wife to bring in Leah Remini just to try and recapture that magic from King of Queens. And it feels like that might be, to a lesser extent, what they're inevitably trying to do here to push out the new characters and bring in the original characters from Frasier. I'm definitely probably overthinking this. It just seems like a heck of a lot of news coming out to drum up support for a show. If they can recapture that magic, even to a medium extent, I have to imagine it will perform a heck of a lot better than some of the expectations out there. What are your thoughts on this? Are you excited for all of these returning characters? Or are you cautiously kind of pessimistic? Is that even a thing? I don't know. That it might be a little bit too much and it might feel a little bit unearned and a little bit cluttered. Leave all your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, do all those fancy YouTube things. But until next time...